Good morning and welcome to our Ashworth Wealth weekly market update. My name is Scott Thomas. Boy, this last couple of days have been wild again. A lot like we've been over the last really 5 or 6 weeks with tariff talks and the markets bouncing all over the place. It seems like one day we get bad news and the markets go down. We get a little bit of good news, the markets go up. Today is no exception. Over the weekend, we've been meeting with China on tariffs. They've had direct talks over in Geneva, Switzerland, and it looks like there is a framework that is not completely done, but they're working towards it. And it looks like we're going to have better and more favorable trade conditions with China. And because of that, I got news of that late last night, and then I got up this morning and was looking at the news, and it looked like the futures on the Dow and the S&P, all of them were up. And as of right now, as I'm doing this on Monday afternoon, the Dow is up over 1,100 points, Nasdaq's up over 750. So the markets have responded positively. So a couple of things I wanted to concentrate on today is I wanted to look at this chart. What's very, very interesting about this is earnings per share and growth estimates. It's been very interesting to watch as earnings have come out. We've had six of the big seven, the Magnificent Seven, have reported their earnings, and it looks like they are doing better than what was forecast. So what's really interesting about this is if you look at the Magnificent Seven, if you look at all of the Magnificent Seven together, the forecast now is that their growth rate's at about 17.1%. And then you look at the other two lines, that's the top line there, the S&P 493, which are the 493 companies minus those Magnificent Seven. And then you look at the growth rate with the S&P 500, which is all of them included. It's interesting to see how much of the growth of the S&P 500 is because of those top seven. So again, they've done very, very well. Now, we don't have to go back very far to see how dangerous it is to chase just those seven companies. If you remember in 2022, those Magnificent Seven cumulatively, on average, were down over 50%. So they've come roaring back. And so we're being very, very cautious. And yes, it's great that those companies are doing well, but I think that staying diversified is still the name of the game. It's just fascinating to watch how those seven companies have done, especially because many of those companies are so involved in AI, and that's really driving a lot of their business. There was a couple of things I thought were interesting. About 45% of the revenues from those seven and about 45% of the supply chains for those seven companies come from overseas. So as of right now, they're doing well, but they are very, very temperamental and will fluctuate greatly depending on what happens with tariffs going on down the road. So with the tariffs, we're going to continue to watch that very, very closely, and it's going to continue to be, I think, a wild ride here over the next few weeks or months as this all kind of shakes out. A couple of other numbers I wanted to talk about. The Fed just met last week and decided not to lower interest rates. I think the market was pretty much planning on that, but the next meeting will be June 17th and 18th. So we're going to watch that very closely to see what they decide to do. Inflation, another number that we look at very, very closely. Inflation this last month was 2.39%, down from 2.8 the month before. That looks good. We're going to continue to watch that as well. So as of right now with tariffs, just a kind of quick update, the UK, Japan, China, those are all coming in. They're starting to get agreements done. And then another positive note, and I don't know what this is going to do for the markets or where this is going, but Putin and Zelensky have agreed to meet face to face. I think this next week. That would be another very positive thing for the markets and for the world as a whole. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that over the next week or two. So I did want to look at interest rates, and I forgot to look at what interest rates are on the 30-year mortgage, but I think those have held fairly steady. Anyway, so that's kind of an update of where we're at. It's going to be very interesting to watch over the next couple of months what happens as the dust kind of clears with the tariffs. Again, that's the big talk of the town right now, and it seems to be the driving factor both up and down with what the markets are doing. Again, if there's any questions that we can answer for you, if there's any concerns that you have, if you would email us or call us and let us know, and if it's something that we can cover in these weekly market updates, we're happy to do it. Again, thank you. We appreciate all of you, and we'll talk to you again later. Thank you.